I'm so proud and so happy to be here at Daily Blooms Farm, sitting with Tasha, who is the granddaughter of the amazing grandfather who built and developed and had the vision for this property. So, welcome to my Instagram account. Isn't that so funny to say?
Yes, I love it.
I know that you've been in the business. You were news anchor for a while in San Diego, was it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, this is great to be working with somebody that gets the whole where the business has gone, so to speak. So here we are on Instagram. Give the audience just a little bit of history of how this all happened.
Yeah. So my grandmother and grandfather were from Missouri, and they came out to California to build a better life for themselves. And they came out here, they flew a helicopter, they used toilet paper to actually mark the property lines, which I think is so funny. And they purchased 2,000 acres, and my grandfather subdivided all the property up and sold it off. And then he also built the man-made lake right behind us. And I was fortunate enough to grow up here my whole life and be submerged into farming and what I didn't know now, but is a very organic lifestyle. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
And now you've come back. You were a city girl for a while.
I tried it. Yes, I tried it. I came back, and my heart really wanted to be back where my roots were, and especially raising children. I wanted my kids to be in the dirt and learn how to, take a seed and grow it and make food, basically, and I'm thankful to be back.
So this is a flower farm, but your primary crop is?
It's lavender. Okay. Lavender is how we got started,
right.
But now we've branched out to protea, eucalyptus, leucanundra, and wax flowers, and a bunch of different fillers as well. Yes.
So let's talk about lavender.
Yes.
Because there's culinary lavender and then there's floral lavender. Is that the way that you would describe it?
Yes. So the culinary lavender is the English. Mm-hmm. So that can be used as essential oils or in drinks, food. And then the French is more for the floral. And depending on the type, the French is a little bit more bold in the lilac color. So they are used for two different things, and a lot of people have no idea that there's two different types. Right. And there's tons of different types.
I think we've heard French lavender or English lavender, but I just thought, well, that comes from that area of the world, and this comes from England. Or what about what you can use English lavender for with regards to cooking?
Yes, I've seen it used in multiple ways. I've seen it used in cocktail sauces, scones, bakery items, bread. I do love a good cocktail every once in a while, so definitely cocktails. It's infused into a lot of different vodkas, and I've seen a little bit of tequila, although I've never tried it. But yeah.
Oh, that sounds kind of good, like a margarita with lavender.
Doesn't that sound like really refreshing? And maybe like a cucumber in there or something too.
Oh yeah, that sounds really good.
We might have to try that.
Yeah, I'm liking that idea. I don't know why, but that kind of appealed to me.
Me too.
And also the cocktail idea, so we're starting to see that pop up. And lavender really, it's had its sort of highs and lows, right? Like, so it's old French, old classic French, and then everything became contemporary. And so it moved beyond French lavender, if you will.
Yep.
And now it's back again.
Yes. And it's really nice to see that it's back, because I think a lot of my generation also there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and everything that's going on. So it's been really neat to see people reach for the lavender instead of for the pills, like people are coming around and saying there's so many great benefits for your body and for anxiety. And
yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I use it all the time. I have a little one. There's moments where my blood boils.
And when you say you use it, what or how?
I use it in the bath every single night. All my kids have it. I actually put it into my lotion as well, so it's really, really good for your skin. It helps hydrate.
And so when you say you put it in the lotion, you're using the oils from the English lavender?
Yes. So
put it into your lotion.
The English or the French, either one. But I do like just the English for that generally. But you can use it on the French. You can use it. But yeah, you have to have a carrier oil, because you don't want to really just put the oil directly on your skin.
Right.
So you can use a coconut oil or whatever oils that you want to really use. And then I also actually put a drop of oil in my air vents that are in my car, just to calm me down if somebody's in the back screaming or, you know.
Yeah.
Just something to lighten the
And
load a
you
little.
actually really feel like it impacts
I
the
do.
work?
I literally smell it, and it's like an instant calm for me.
So let's talk about your cousin Ross. I feel like there's a part of his soul that is very connected in a way to your grandfather, in that your grandfather did not just come out here and build this property for himself. He built it for everyone in the family and wanted everyone to have the opportunity to be together. And as your cousin doesn't have children of his own, he is still concerned about the entire family lineage of coming back and preserving this experience for the rest of the family.
Yeah, it makes me pretty emotional, actually. Like you said, he doesn't have kids, so he doesn't, you know, I mean, he knows the value, but the fact that he knows the value without physically knowing the value is so great. And my grandfather really instilled so many great family values that it's embedded in his heart, and he can't stop. I mean, even yesterday we were going back and forth talking about the bio of my grandmother and the roots that they laid, and it's so impressive that it just weighs so heavy on his heart. And more than ever in this world that we're living in, we need it, and our kids need it, and everyone on Instagram needs to see it too, because, you know, not everyone can be next to a farm. And so we feel so blessed that we had that opportunity and that we can carry that legacy on. And that's where this farm basically gave birth. We're in our second year, so we're still a very baby farm, but we want it to be big and we want to share it with the community.
So. You know, I got emotional asking the question. I was sitting here thinking to myself, am I starting to cry asking that question? And then you burst out.
I know.
Right, let's go see this farm. Let's talk about the toilet paper thing, about marking the land with the toilet paper. So here we'll walk and talk. How did that work? Like, did you take a picture of where all the toilet paper landed, and then you take those pictures to the county? Or so
yeah,
explain that process.
Back then, everything was done on a piece of paper and a handshake.
Okay.
Everything. So to my knowledge, I don't know the exact specifics, but all I know is that they were up in the helicopter, and the only way to get the exact property lines of what he wanted to purchase was to take the toilet paper and drop it from the helicopter. And then they were able to go out and measure everything. And then that's how he purchased.
The property itself, it's 67 acres?
67 acres, yep, including the lake.
And it has its own water?
Has its own water. My grandfather was very, very into hunting for water. And so he placed several wells throughout the property, and there's also a natural spring that runs into the lake, and then it tapers off. So a lot of the watering will come from the lake at times too, depending on how we're doing on a drought.
And so when you say that the lake was built in 1961?
61, yep.
In 1961. How do you build a lake? I mean, I'm thinking to myself, like Lake Mead, where I'm from in Las Vegas, there's a Colorado River runs through that land and makes Lake
They literally
Mead.
brought out dozers and tractors and dug it.
But what's the water source for it?
Well, back then we actually had a lot of water, and I believe that he used a lot of city water in the beginning, and then because of where the lake is located, there's so much runoff from everywhere that it would, you know, he never really had to fill it. Just recently my cousin had to start putting water into the lake so it wouldn't dry we didn't have droughts really back then. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there was a plethora of rain. I can remember one winter when I lived up the hill, there was so much rain for 2 weeks that we got trapped here. All the bridges washed out. There was a helicopter that came in and brought us food and water.
Oh, wow.
And as a kid, being stuck somewhere on your four-wheeler for 2 weeks and no school was amazing.
The best.
Some of the best memories I've ever had were being trapped out here. But yeah, no, we had a lot of water back